ในเซสชันถัดไปนะคะเราจะเป็นเซสชันที่ดำเนินการเป็นภาษาอังกฤษนะคะท่านไหนที่ต้องการหูฟังแปลภาษานะคะสามารถไปรับหูฟังแปลภาษาได้นะคะบริเวณซ้ายมือของท่านนะคะตรงตู้ล่ามก็ฝากบัตรประชาชนหรือว่าพาสปอร์ตไว้ก็สามารถรับได้เลยนะคะแล้วก็ในเซสชันทุกเซสชันของเราในวันนี้ที่มีการเป็น panel discussion หรือว่าเป็น talk นะคะเราก็จะมีสรุปนะคะแบบเป็น visual notes BVC ทางด้านนั้นนะคะซึ่งทุกท่านสามารถไปดูได้จะแปะไว้ที่บอร์ดทางด้านหลังนะคะทุกเซสชันในวันแรกก็มีการสรุปเช่นกันนะคะเป็น BVC Vision Note ของเรานะคะสามารถไปดูได้ทั้งหมดแล้วก็เซสชันถัดไปของเราไม่รอช้ากันเลยเดี๋ยวเราจะเข้าสู่เซสชันที่2ของเรานะคะในหัวข้อถัดไปหัวข้อแรกเนี่ยเรามีการพูดถึงเรื่องคอนเซปต์ของเงินเรื่องของบล็อกเชนเลเยอร์1เลเยอร์2เป็นยังไงนะคะในปีที่ผ่านมานะคะประมาณ 2-3 ปีที่ผ่านมาปี 2021 นะคะถือว่าเป็นตลาดขาขึ้นรอบใหญ่ของคริปโตเคอเรนซีในเครือข่าย Ethereum นะคะซึ่งถ้านับแล้วส่วนแบ่งการตลาดเนี่ยเกินครึ่งนะคะของบล็อกเชนทั้งหมดไม่ว่าจะเป็น Product อย่าง DeFi NFT นะคะ Metaverse GameFi ทำให้มี Blockchain Layer 1 รูปแบบใหม่ๆ ที่พยายามจะเข้ามาคิวหรือเข้ามาแย่งส่วนแบ่งการตลาดของ Ethereum กันไปนะคะซึ่งก็เกิดเป็น Buzzword ว่าเป็น Ethereum Killer ตัวต่อไปจะเป็นใครนะคะใครจะสามารถเข้ามาแก้ปัญหา Blockchain Trilemma ได้สำเร็จแล้วใครจะเป็นผู้ชนะในเกมนี้นะคะซึ่งในเซสชันนี้นะคะเราจะดำเนินการเป็นภาษาอังกฤษนะคะแล้วก็ขอเชิญทุกท่านพบกับเซสชันที่2ของวันที่2ของเรา Battle of Layer 1 ใครจะเป็น Ethereum Killer ตัวต่อไปนะคะ so everyone please welcome Mr. ปฏิกรณ์ตรีทศายุทธ CEO Bitcoin Addict Thailand Mr. Apit Sharma Vice President Polygon Technology Mr. Dave Yoanak Director of Ecosystem Development Trondown will zoom in and Mr. Yogi Chief of Staff Emago Cardano แล้วก็ขอมอบเซสชันนี้ให้กับคุณปฏิกรณ์นะคะเป็นโมเดเลเตอร์ของเราขอเสียงปรบมือให้กับทุกท่านด้วยค่ะ
Hello, test. Okay. Hi. Okay. Hello, guys. สวัสดีครับ I'm Gan here from Bitcoin Addict Thailand. I'll be the moderator of this sessions. It's the battle of layer 1 or indeed the battle of blockchain layers. So not wasting any more time, let's get started. So the first question would be more about the introduction part. So it's who are you, what are you doing, and then what's your journey into crypto space? Who want to take that? Apit, you want to start?
Yeah, thanks. I can take that. Hi everyone, my name is Arpit. I'm part of Polygon's enterprise team. So I lead enterprise business development for Asia Pacific and Middle East. So by that, what I mean is we basically work with 3 market segments, your large traditional non-digital enterprise clients, then digital native businesses, and government and public sector. So from that idea stage to actually getting the product shipped, that's the complete life cycle that we take care of for the enterprise clients. So I have been in this space for quite some time. In my current role, I have joined like January this year, but I have been connected with Polygon very early on, like 2019 first off, when I was part of EY's tech consulting. So I started working with, it was called Matic back then. Started working with them to develop some POCs specifically for enterprise client at that time. But yeah, we were pretty early at that, in 2019. So I've been in this space since then, on and off in different roles, in different capacities as a consultant, as a product, on the product side, and now on the growth side.
Right, awesome. Yogi, you want to take it?
Sure, I am. Nice to meet you. My name is Yogi. I'm from Imago, working for this Cardano project for the last 5 years. So it was a very exciting journey. 5 years working for this Cardano project under Imago. So Cardano is a project, founding member, Cardano Foundation, and IOG, headed by Charles Hoskinson and Imago. So 3 entities are founding organizations from this Cardano blockchain. So at Imago, what we do is providing education, really an ecosystem builder. So we do our education as well. We build our own product. We're going to launch stable token next year. And also we are very active on the ecosystem investment as well as we launch a media business. So through these 4 sets of business that we run at Imago, we are building Cardano ecosystem. So that's essentially what I do. And as a chief of staff, my job is really, like bouncing idea with CEO, policy and strategy, vision and mission, and cascade that to team member at Imago. So that's essentially what I do at Imago.
Awesome. Last guy, Dave.
Oh, yeah.
It's your Dave. You with us?
Hi there. Yeah, good morning, Thailand. How are you? So my name is Dave Yornak. I lead ecosystem development at TronDAO. I'm based in the United States, in Chicago. I've been at TronDAO for just about 1 year now. And at Tron, we've had an incredibly active year. Not only did we launch a stablecoin, but we're growing in multiple directions, from DeFi through NFTs and all the emerging markets, all the emerging areas of Web3 into enterprise, and really throughout the Web3 space. So it's been definitely a very busy year, and there's definitely more exciting things to come as we move into 2023.
Okay. I didn't we take that? We didn't take that on your journey into crypto space. You might want to touch on that a bit more.
My journey into the crypto space actually came through blockchain. I was more involved so I got into blockchain in 2016, really through the consulting side and working with blockchain and helping companies in the payments and insurance industries to understand what blockchain might mean for them. And crypto is one use case of blockchain. And for the first 4 or 5 years I was involved in blockchain, I was really focused on other use cases for the most part. It really wasn't until I joined Tron that I really became focused on the crypto use case. And obviously it's the most dominant use case of blockchain right now, and is likely to continue for some time going forward. But really what attracted me to the space overall was blockchain technology and how it can be applied to so many different industries, and really is going to transform business. It's going to transform the way business is done. And I believe that within a short period of time, blockchain and crypto aren't going to be these new different ways to do business. They're going to be how business is done.
All right. Awesome. Okay. Next question. By having top tier blockchain layers here, and we all know that the layers are basically the fundamentals and the infrastructure of this crypto ecosystem. I wanted to know more about what's your current focus right now. What are you focusing on right now as a blockchain layers? Who want to take that first? Apit, you want to do it?
Yeah, sure. Thanks. So I think I will kind of divide this question into 2 pieces. So we have on the tech side what we are doing, and on the business side what the focus is. So on the tech side, we are very focused on ZK EVM at this time. So we have a very strong team, rather multiple teams working on ZK technology right now. So we have teams from Polygon Maiden, Polygon Zero, and Polygon Harness currently working on creating a better ZK EVM, preparing that for a mainnet launch. So I think a very strong focus there. Second piece on the technology side is Supernets. So Supernets is a offering which we have specifically for enterprise clients. So Supernets will enable clients to create app-specific chains. So Supernets we launched last year. We have seen a huge traction on that. So the ecosystem of Supernets is growing by the day. So we are very focused on improving that every day. Third would be Polygon Nightfall. Polygon Nightfall again is a protocol which is very suited for enterprise use cases where privacy is a very important part of the use there, right? So we are working on Nightfall as well. So I think next few quarters we'll see mainstreaming of Nightfall. And then the fourth thing is Polygon Avail, which is a data availability solution, and Polygon ID, which is the identity layer, which was launched earlier this year. So I think on the tech side, we will be strongly focused on these 5 pieces. On the business side and like at a very, very philosophical level, the idea is to make this technology very simple for end clients to understand. Because what I feel is that, there is a barrier that enterprise clients or your, retail investors, they face when they try to enter this because of very specific terminology, very specific tech associated with this. So from a business point of view, we are trying to make it very simple, reduce those entry barriers, ensure that there is a smooth transition of Web2 companies or traditional enterprise companies into Web3, as well as better customer engagement, better user engagement for the retail users.
Okay, so basically focusing on the five side on the tech and getting people to use and understand blockchain more easier. Yogi, how about you?
Right. So I want to talk about to answer to the topic about like three angles, I believe. So one is definitely about layer one capability. So layer one amongst all the upcoming layer one popping up almost like every half a year. So other layer one has to be very competitive and offering a suite of product or technology. GK could be one of them. Cardano also has an idea about privacy layer that was announced a week ago in Scotland. It's called Midnight. It's a sidechain that is more focused on privacy. So that will act as a sidechain of Cardano. So like that kind of like a layer one capability, has to have like all the layer one has to have to be staying on top of the layer one battle. But at the same time, I think another important aspect is how decentralized that protocol is. Oftentimes, like this blockchain is like much faster than that blockchain. But like who talk about in order to get that speed, how much decentralization that you need to give up, right? There's not so much discussion happening. So how platform is decentralized is also important aspect for layer one in general. And the last piece is really Imago is working on. So we're working on being a bridge with traditional finance and the this sort of decentralized finance. At the end of the day, like any DeFi activity, you get yield, you increase your whatever crypto or money, but you have to go out and spend the money in this real world, right? And there has to be a really nice bridge entering into regulatory sphere from crypto sphere. So I believe like extension of layer one, to answer your question, I think also layer one or founding member has to provide really meaningful bridge to regulatory industry as well.
Okay, so basically more on the development of the layer one side, perhaps discover more on the privacy chain or stuff, and also being a bridge to the traditional finance side.
Right, yeah.
Right, awesome. Dave.
Sure. Yeah, definitely. Our current focus is, like I said, we've been very busy. I'm sure you've heard about the Huobi activity and what's happening there. I believe it's been announced H.E. Justin's son is now CEO of Huobi, and they'll be integrating the Tron network as well as BitTorrent cross-chain into their platform. We have become the official blockchain of the country Dominica. We are still very busy with our stablecoin USDD, and that's going very well. And then our layer one continues to grow. We have I think over 124 million accounts at this point. And it's being used very actively, but we're continuing to expand not only through DeFi, where I believe we're the third largest platform, but really one of the things we've just done is launch the Tron Academy program. We have partners around the world, from the Hong Kong University of Science and Technology to the U.S., where we have multiple partners in a variety of areas. So we're really just, you can break it down to really growing our community and getting more users onto our network as we become the global settlement layer.
Okay, so basically it's more on the community side, partnership, and then getting more adoption on that side.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's fair.
All right, awesome. I mean, this is something that you might already talk about, covered a bit in the previous talk, and then the topic is the battle of layer one or the blockchain layer. So let me add some spice here into the conversation. So, what are the past achievements in the past few years you think gave you an competitive advantage as a blockchain layers? Apit, you want to take that?
Sure.
Oh, okay. I'll go with Apit first.
Okay.
Can you repeat that question? Sorry. I
Okay,
didn't
sure.
hear.
So, what are the past achievements in the past few years that you think have given you the competitive advantage as a blockchain layers?
Okay.
This is for all of you guys. I'll take Apit first then.
No, I think.
Okay, Dave, you want to take it first?
Sure, yeah, happy to. So, as I said, we have over 124 million accounts, and we also have a significant share of stablecoin volume, right? Like over 20% of total stablecoin volume, approaching 25%. And our competitive advantages are low cost, high speed, reliability and stability, security, and now we are sustainable and eco-friendly as well. So we really have significant competitive advantages, and that's really, I think, helping to propel the growth of the network.
Okay, awesome. So basically a lot of stable coins there, flowing in the ecosystem.
Stable coins, a lot of DeFi.
A lot of
yeah.
DeFi's and then
And
cool.
I think it's only a matter of time until we see significant enterprise adoption of the Tron Layer 1, right? Because we are so low cost and we are so stable. Block height is 45, 46 million. The network just doesn't go down. We don't go out. We don't take breaks for an afternoon and go shut down for 6 hours. We're just stable. You talk to people in the industry, they'll tell you Tron just works. And people really are trying to get on the network. And I think the part of next year is what we'll see is really, I expect there to be significant enterprise adoption of the Tron Layer 1.
Okay, so never take a break, never break down, and quite resilient and fast. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Apit or Yogi, who want to take it first?
Sure. The past achievement of Cardano, I think Cardano's staking mechanism, and also by the elegant staking mechanism, very high degree of decentralization. So I keep repeating the word of decentralization, but if you think about blockchain, like why you build application on blockchain, because you don't want centralized world, and you want to do things in a decentralized world. Then if that's the case, then like why don't you choose the most decentralized blockchain out there, because that's the whole purpose of building application in a decentralized world. I think for that purpose, Cardano has done an amazing job. More than 74, really depends on the time and date, obviously, but roughly speaking, like a majority of ADA has been staked, and there's more, I think 3,000 more stake validator nodes out there, like, maintaining the network. So I think it's just the staking, you might ask, but I think the way Cardano has done staking is really elegant, and we can also use that network and the methodology for liquid democracy. So now Cardano talks a lot about governance. It started as founding entity, but how community and validator node can be incorporated with the network parameter and like any protocol change conversation. We already have a foundation to do the liquid democracy as well. So I think that's really a good past achievement of Cardano. And talking about Imago, I think our job, really good one on the application layer is back in 2018, we already developed a light wallet, non-custodial wallet, and we open sourced it so that community member can use the components that we build. So unlike other ecosystem, actually our wallet battle on Cardano is quite competitive. There are like 6 or 7 community wallets out there. But just because we open source our wallet, then other followers and ecosystem builders started to build a lot of applications, specifically wallet. So I think that's really a supporting role for Imago, and that's why we want to do a stable token as well, because we do believe stable token is going to support all the DeFi. We don't really want to go out and do some like application layer stuff. Rather, we want to be like an ecosystem supporting role, building something that a community and the project need, rather than like dominating the market. So I think that's sort of can be considered as a past achievement of Imago.
Okay, so basically it's the huge number of wallet user and also to fulfill the main purpose of blockchain by being decentralized.
Yeah, I think you can say so. Yeah.
All right, let's take it a bit.
Yeah. So I think so for any blockchain to be usable, I think there are certain hygiene things, right? So today we so for example, have being low cost, being performant.
Closer. You want to put it
Hello?
closer?
Yeah, is it better? Yeah. So being a low cost blockchain, being performant, good network throughput. So I think these are the necessities, right? So you cannot exist without this, right? So I will not kind of focus on this because this is these numbers are pretty strong for Polygon. So I will just focus on some other aspects which are not generally talked about. So I think from a competitive advantage standpoint, I think what I perceive is our biggest competitive advantage is the huge developer community out there. I'll just give an example. So I was in a meeting where there were few folks who were questioning me very aggressively around why Polygon and why not this and why not that, right? Then a developer from their own team, he stood up and he started giving all the positives that and how easy was it for them to develop on Polygon versus some other chains, right? And while he was very, very passionately narrating that. So I think that we really cherish. We keep those developers and those builders at the center of whatever we do. And I think the developer community and ecosystem has they have kind of created this huge ecosystem. So today in Polygon, we have 53,000 dApps which are running on Polygon. Like we have 160 million addresses. In just last 30 days, 15 million addresses were added, right? So total we have processed 2 billion transactions. So that's on the ecosystem side. Then secondly, from an enterprise standpoint, so we are very focused on leading from a solution point of view. So we are not leading from a tech. So tech is something which should be invisible for us. Like it's what can you deliver, right? So I think that focus is second piece. And then third, overall at a very broad level, Ethereum community is very strong. So I think that's one of the reasons where you see the activity, like in terms of Ethereum and Polygon network. Like if you look at that activity is at a totally different scale today because it's very open. People can come and develop, and it's very dev focused, right? So I think other than all the low cost, high performance, and all of those things, I think these, from Polygon's perspective, I think these are the three things that I feel are competitive advantage. Plus the strong focus that we have on research, specifically ZK, Tech, Avail, ID, Nightfall. So I think today we are there. Like we have POS, Supernets live. Once these things get live, like ZK EVM was announced, so once that gets mainstream, so you will see a whole lot of new products coming from Polygon, like all of this research that is happening for past so many months now. So that's going to come to fruition very soon. So I think these are some of the competitive advantages that I feel are very important for us.
Got it. So basically, it's the super strong community, super strong culture for the dev side, and also focusing on, and also the tech, and also focusing on more on the solution for the enterprise than the tech. Got it. Wow. Let me change the question and tone down a bit because I'm starting to feel the heat here on the stage. And okay, let's look at it at a bigger picture. So right now, people say the future is multi-chain, cross-chain, and a lot of those technology coming up and coming in, and we're starting to see more of the layer ones popping up once in a while. And then they're claiming that they are having a better, faster blockchain, better technology. So what are your guys' strategy to stay relevant in the industry, or perhaps what are the things that you guys have and then the newer blockchain don't? Who want to take that first?
Yeah, I can go for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So being in the ecosystem for the last 5 years for Cardano, I think, yeah, like newer blockchain, coming really sometimes really attractive offering like TPS, transaction per second, and all sorts of features. But I think what Cardano or relatively experienced on like blockchain or layer one, maybe take advantage like the number of community and also the discussion about governance and maybe a degree of decentralization. Cardano we are like in the middle of talking about right governance for Cardano, and it's really beautiful that community is really participating in that conversation. So Cardano has improvement proposal just like Bitcoin and Ethereum. In Cardano we call CIP, Cardano Improvement Proposal, but there's already a discussion involving validator nodes because after launching Cardano and sort of getting validator node to participate in validating transaction. So Cardano is already a somewhat decentralized protocol, a really decentralized protocol. Then there's like more than 3,000 people are involved. And I actually see those people in, let's say, Cardano Summit. We were at the Cardano Summit like 2 weeks ago. I see like a bunch of people are actually living off Cardano by being validator from Brazil, from Switzerland. So those people are really, people with the face and really interacting with Cardano on daily basis. But those people can be a part of conversation of how Cardano should be governed in the next like 5 to 10 years. So I think that is a really good advantage. Already, bunch of people involved in the Cardano ecosystem, they care about Cardano. They actively talk about, how they want a Cardano to be, not only the founding member of like Imago, IOG or Cardano Foundation. Cardano is already almost like a common goods that anyone can access to, build, or living off of it. So I think that could be a competitive advantage to being on the space for the last 5 years, doing a bunch of things.
Got it. So basically, it's more on a super strong community side. People live on Cardano's, and then people think about the governance, about the sustainable thing of Cardano all the time. Okay, all right, awesome. Who wanna take it next? You wanna do it, Dave?
Sure. Yeah. So when you started, you said people often say the future is multi-chain and cross-chain, and certainly at Tron, we certainly believe that. And we have the BitTorrent cross-chain, which connects to BNB and Ethereum, as well as Tron, of course. We're open to really partnering with other chains as much as possible. We think that's one of the ways that most chains can stay relevant by partnering with others. I think that's really what's necessary in this industry. And what other strategies are we using? Really quite a few, but one that I'll talk about is, and I think I mentioned this earlier, but really what we call the Tron Academy program, where we partner with universities around the world to help what we call or what we see as kind of the next generation of builders and business leaders, help them get up and running on their blockchain journey. And as they go on that blockchain journey, we want them to use Tron. And we're making a really dedicated commitment, really around the world, to help people in that age cohort to do that. So that's one of the strategies that we're employing to remain relevant and to continue to grow.
Wow. So basically, it's more on you guys already prep for the multi-chain and the cross-chain side with the BitTorrent that thing. And also you guys do have the Tron Academy, which focuses on and really want to get educate the newer generation, which could drive the ecosystem to grow even further.
Yes. Yeah. And we really think that's a critical area in which to have a presence, is to be in that space. There's so many smart, talented, creative people in that space that are building and innovating. And, from that standpoint, it's just great to be there.
Wow. All right. Awesome. Apit.
Yeah, so I think that's pretty interesting, and I touched upon some of the things that I will be saying in this question also. So I think to stay relevant first thing that I feel is very important is that you stay very open, because at the end of the day, these protocols, layer ones and layer two protocols, these are the underlying layers on top of which stuff is built, right? So if you can have that openness and you can enable the developers to build, then I think they are going to innovate constantly. And while you maintain that that protocol, you keep on improving that. The applications that will be built on top of that, I think that will matter the most. So just to quickly summarize that, so I think just keeping your protocol very open, enabling the devs to build on top of that without make that process as smooth as possible. So I think that's one, because you have to kind of encourage that innovation at the application layer. You want to say something? Sorry.
Just wanted you to repeat on that part again. What matters the most again?
Yeah, so what matters the most is how do you enable the developers to build those applications on your platform. So I think that piece is important. And how do we do that? So of course, having a very good developer experience in terms of what tooling is available, what kind of ecosystem players are available in your protocol. I think that's very important. Second piece is having a very long-term view of things. So you must have seen in last few years there have been a lot of ecosystems that came up. So there were a lot of financial incentives. So money was moving from one ecosystem to other ecosystem. Chasing the staking rewards and all of that, right? So that has happened. But if you look at it, so you have to have a very long-term vision of things. Where do you want to go? What kind of problems you want to solve? So I think that's second piece. In case of Polygon, how we are doing that is we are heavily focused on the research aspect that I already shared on ZK side, on Polygon ID side, Polygon Supernets, Polygon Avail. So I think a very strong research pipeline that we have in place. And then third piece is, again, you have to, for end users and for enterprise clients, for let's say government clients, you really have to solve an actual problem. It should not be, somewhere I saw a very funny photo where somebody is using their MacBook to just keep the door open. They're using that as a door stopper, right? So that's not a real use for that Mac, right? So idea is you need to solve real problems. You need to create real value for the end customer. So I think these three, fostering dev activity, focus on research and a very long-term perspective. And then third, solving real world problems and creating actual value.
Awesome. So it's more like creating the values on the real world and also supporting all the stakeholder in the ecosystem on making it as easy as possible for them to access all the tools and then understanding with the research. Just to drive one point. So for example, the question that somebody should answer is, why would a dev or a builder come to your platform if you remove all the monetary incentives? So today, if you remove all the monetary incentives, okay,
why will a dev come to this protocol or that protocol? So I think that question is very important. Why would a client choose to build on one particular platform and not on other? So that question, without any monetary incentive. So I think if you look at that, then you will get a clear idea of what are the core strengths of this. Where are we going with this, right?
Quite an interesting point. Cause the world and then in the crypto space, we are super highly motivated and driven by the monetary rewards. So people just jump in and stakes, and even in the developer side as well, right? They has the monetary rewards for them to build and stuff. So I mean, just forget about it and then look at it on that part without monetary reward. What will you do? Okay. Moving on to the almost last question. So, what are the exciting landscape that we will be seeing in the next few years, or if we have a bull run there during the time? What are the things that we might see on the layer 1 and layer 2 side? Who want to take that?
So I think I'll take that. So I think on layer 1 and layer 2 sides, what we are going to see is increased openness. Like there will be a lot of cross-chain applications that will be created. Is it better now?
Yep.
Yeah. So I think a lot of cross-chain applications will be built. I think that piece will be very very important. Scalability problem will kind of get more nuanced. There will be specifics such as bringing privacy to that. How can you ensure that your user data is secured by the user? There is no on data security side. So I think that can be another area. Third would be so I feel that there is going to be a very strong focus on real world use cases, and that's going to come. So today, if you look at it, the Web3 use cases and the rest of the world, like the Web2 world, there is a huge gap in terms of how they interact with the internet, right? So Web3 is more focused on crypto, staking, yield, and all of these things, right? While there is a traditional tech, tech space which is not there yet. So what is going to happen is now there is going to be a kind of a amalgamation of these two things. So DeFi may come very close to your TradFi, your traditional finance, right? So there can be a lot of different interesting collaborations. And I think on application, on application layer, I feel there is going to be a strong movement. So I think cross-chain applications. Then secondly, more nuances to the scalability problem. And then third would be, coming together of these Web3 and Web2 use cases to give rise to some mainstream use cases that we will see very shortly.
Amazing. Basically, it's more on the cross-chain side because we have the multi-chain right here, and also we will be seeing more on the merge of those two worlds, on the tech side, on the crypto side, and on the traditional side, which is like finance or perhaps like anything real world that isn't related to the blockchain side. All right. Who wanna take it next? You wanna do it, Dave?
Sure. Yeah. First, I agree with what Arpit said. I think he's spot on in his assessment of what will happen between DeFi and TradFi. Additionally, I think one of the things we might see is more specialization among layer ones. So seeing more layer ones focusing specifically on NFTs or on payments or on some other aspect of financial services, maybe supply chain. And I think that's going to increase the need and the demand for more cross-chain capabilities. So that's certainly something I think is possible as we move forward.
Okay, so basically it's not on just the battle of the blockchain layer side. I mean the topic here is about that, but then we might potentially see that the blockchain might be pacific. So it doesn't have to be like directly competing with each other, but then they are focusing on more on different side or different use case on that side.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Right, awesome,
Or
man.
your interpretation is correct, and I think that's likely to happen.
All right, thanks, man. Last one, Yogi.
Yeah, I really echo with Dave and yourself when it comes to the terminology of battle of layer one. It's not really a battle, more of, I guess, collaboration. One blockchain can do only one, not only say like only one, but it should be good at some specific area. I think there's no multi-purpose blockchain as they might want it to be, but I think specialization really makes sense. I think that specialized blockchain is happening on NFT front as well, and it could happen in some other area as well. I think what's really going to happen, to answer your question, what's going to happen after this bear market. I'm also involved in the investment side as well, but investment side is still active. People are actually building, even though bear market. So they are just seeking the right timing to do, token raise or a token event, right? So sooner or later, the situation get better, and then actually like more application to be built on Cardano or some other chain. So I think the solution will come, and I also echo with him, like when it comes to enterprise adoption, I think all the tools, as far as Cardano ecosystem, maybe some other ecosystem as well, it's not really regulatory or regulator friendly. It's all about, like, let's say Blockchain Explorer, it's all about number and digits. We might get used to it, but when it comes to regulatory or, real world adoption, that tool need to be better built for, regulator and people are just got into crypto, right? So I think for the next bull run, when we believe like, Web2 people or traditional finance people will come in, I think this industry as a whole has to sort of brush up and create a better tool for regulatory person or, Web2 person to really familiarize with the ecosystem. So I think that's also things that, we might want to be prepared.
Okay, so as an overall, like, we will be seeing more on the multi-chain side, and people chain would be not competing with each other maybe, and specialize on each of the different use case. And also we'll be seeing like the merge between the two worlds, the Web 2 and Web 3, and even on the regulation side as well. Because like in order to get even more mass adoption, like a lot of people need to feel secure by the regulation, or even though like right now, to be honest, like a lot of adoption is still stopped because of the regulation. So we might see more on that side on the landscape of crypto.
I agree with you. Like regulation is something, because of the shock that happened. I think regulators still started to be more active about regulating cryptocurrency. I think there's a multiple interpretation about how we want crypto to be, but at the end of the day, I think we live in this reality, which means we have to interface with real world, right? So I think the industry as a whole will really need to find the best way to engage with regulators from the product perspective and also layer one perspective.
Awesome. Is there anyone want to share something more on this question?
So I think I agree with him that irrespective of what we think in crypto, there is a world that we have to interact with, right? So now I think idea here is to start talking to regulators very openly. So for example, I have been part of a lot of regulator meetings like in India, in the region. So they also want to very positively understand what is happening in the space. This is the time that we can take this opportunity to share whatever is happening, so that they get a better sense of what is happening in the space rather than create a one-sided picture of their own. So I think it's the responsibility of all the protocols, all the chains out there to start engaging with regulators, to start engaging with these public offices, so that you give them the sense of this whole culture that we are in. So I think that's very interesting. And second thing is around your previous comment, like Battle of Layer 1, I also don't agree with that, because this is too early in the space. Like it's all of us who are building, all the products are amazing. They're doing a lot of interesting work. So I think at this point, it is about building the best Web3 that can be there, improving every day, ensuring we are at a better place with each passing door. So I think that should be the spirit of the efforts that we are making. Yeah.
Yep. So basically, it's more, got it. So basically, it's not like competing for like a piece of small pie when you still can have like a lot of the rest of the pie, which is still hasn't been touched by anyone yet. And also, I think we are starting to see something like quite amazing, since like before crypto people say that, oh, everything is all decentralized, we don't care, we keep our own money, we keep our own keys and stuff. Like we don't care about regulators when we don't care about centralization. And on the same thing, on the government side too, like they are trying to like restrict the crypto and the adoption of decentralization like by the all means. But then it won't happen because like people are started to get affected by all the Terra Luna incidents, the FTX incidents. So I think now we might be starting to see the consensus between like both of the two, and then I think all of them would be coming to join on different side to talk more on how do we further develop that. So Dave, you want to add on something, like maybe the last one, because we are running out of time?
Sure. Yeah, I completely agree with the prior comments. I think it is going to be more collaborative than competitive going forward. I think cross-chain is incredibly important to get right. We have to be able to send assets across multiple chains, and we have to do it safely and securely. And I think that will happen probably sooner rather than later. So yeah, I mean, we're definitely at Tron. We're open to working with and collaborating with a variety of other chains, and partners throughout Web3.
Awesome. I mean, I feel good at the end of the panel, because in the middle, I kind of feel the heat between the three speakers. So now I'm starting to have a sense of collaboration and more peaceful thing on the stage. So thank you, guys. I think that's it for the session.
Thank you.
All right,
Thanks,
thank
everyone.
you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
ขอเสียงปรบมือให้กับคุณปฏิกรณ์ตรีทัศายุทธนะคะ I'd like to invite the host representative to give the souvenir to all the guest speakers today.